Hello, everyone. I would like to talk about sickle cell disease today in this lecture. I want to make it very short and sweet because I know nowadays nobody wants to watch long videos. So I would like to concise it and put all the information in 10 minutes. All right, so let's get started. All right, so what is the sickle cell disease? What actually happens? So first let's talk about hemoglobin that is present in the body because it is all related to the structure of hemoglobin. So where is this hemoglobin present? This hemoglobin is present in RBCs. And what is RBC? RBCs are the red blood cells. So red blood cells carry these hemoglobin molecules. Now, to your surprise, one red blood cells carries 250 million molecules of hemoglobin. So one red blood cell will have 250 million molecules of this hemoglobin. Now, what is actually the structure of this hemoglobin? So this is a little bit complicated structure. However, I'll just put it in a very easy way here. So it is made up of two chains of alpha and two beta chains. These are all the protein chains, tertiary structure of proteins, you can say. So these are the protein chains. So together it is a protein molecule. So it is made up of two alpha chains and two beta chains. Now these chains are connected to iron. All these chains are connected to iron molecule, which is also called the heme molecule. It is called heme molecule. So these are connected to the iron molecules. And these iron molecules are going to bind to oxygen. So you must have heard, or you must be knowing this part, that blood carries oxygen throughout the body, right? Now, how does the blood carry oxygen throughout the body? It is because this hemoglobin molecule is present in the blood. What is blood? Blood is RBCs, red blood cells. Now, red blood cells, each red blood cell carry so many molecules of hemoglobin. And one hemoglobin molecule carries four molecules of oxygen. So you can imagine how much our total blood is carrying oxygen throughout the body. If one molecule can carry 250 millions of hemoglobin and one hemoglobin can carry four molecules of oxygen. Right? Isn't it a lot? So now this hemoglobin molecule is coded by different chromosomes in our body. So we all know that we are made of 23 chromosomes pair. So one set comes from mom and one set comes from our dad. All right. So this beta is made up of chromosome number 11. So chromosome number 11 has a gene called HBB gene. Now this HBB gene is responsible for this beta chain or the beta protein that is present in the hemoglobin molecule. When there is a defect in this HBB gene, then this beta chain is defected, and that's why the person gets sickle cell disease or the sickle cell disease. Because the hemoglobin is modified now. Right now, the hemoglobin is normal and it is called HbA. All right. However, if the hemoglobin is modified or mutated, it is called mutation. It is called mutation, mutated. Mutated, then it is called HbS. Now the hemoglobin is called HbS because now it is mutated. It has a chain in the beta chain of the hemoglobin molecule. All right. So this HBB gene that is present on chromosome number 11 is mutated, and it is mutated only at one particular point, which is called, that's why it is called point mutation. Point mutation. Sickle cell disease is because of the point mutation, the mutation that takes place only at one point. I'll show you how now. So this HBB gene, it is all basically DNA. All the genes are DNA molecules. So DNA, when we unwind and we unzip and we open, you can see this sequence of DNA that is present in the HBB gene. So this is the sequence of DNA, which codes for RNA and which codes for protein, which is proline, glutamate, glutamine. So what happens in the case, this is in the case of the normal hemoglobin, which gives rise to the normal red blood cell or normal hemoglobin. Now there is a mutation only at one point. Here is that point here. So instead of A, there is a T. Now because of this small mutation, there will be a mutation here, there will be a change here, there will be a change in corresponding protein. So what is basically expression of protein? From DNA, we get RNA, and RNA we get protein molecules, right? So this is only one change in this nucleotide of DNA gives a change in the complementary base pairing rule. We all know that the DNA is made up of two helix, and these both are strands are complementary to each other. So when there is a change in one nucleotide in one strand, it will be a complementary change in this strand, and as a result of which there will be a change in RNA, and due to this change in RNA, there will be a change in the protein. Now, instead of glutamate, valine will be formed. This is another amino acid. So instead of glutamate, valine is formed. This gives rise to hemoglobin, sickle cell hemoglobin. Because of this, there is a change in the beta chain, and due to which the hemoglobin that is formed is faulty hemoglobin, which is called HbS. All right, so this is all due to very small mutation, which is called the point mutation. Now, because of this, what happens? The hemoglobin has a very less capacity of carrying oxygen because the beta chains are not formed correctly, so they will not be able to carry the oxygen properly. There will be low content, very low content of oxygen that will be carried by them. As a result of which, they will start clumping with each other. So in the RBC or in the red blood cells, these hemoglobin molecules are lying like this, away from each other, which gives it a rounded shape. But in the case of this, these hemoglobin molecules, we are going to clump with each other. So they are going to form clumps with each other like this, and they are going to form long chains, because of which the RBC from rounded, it becomes sickle shape. It becomes a shape of a sickle, flat like this. So this hemoglobin molecules, instead of lying separate from each other and carrying enough oxygen, because of the lack of the oxygen, they are going to clump with each other and form like they're going to hold hands with each other. And now they are going to form these polymers. They are going to form these polymers and clump, and therefore this, you can see the shape of the RBC is distorted and it becomes sickle shape now. Due to this, what will happen? If the person is having sickle shape, what is going to happen? There will be a low content of oxygen carrying capacity by the blood. Low oxygen will be carried by the blood, and due to the lack of oxygen, and the lack of RBCs, because these sickle cell die very soon. They die very soon as compared to this. Lack of RBC will result in anemia. So person is going to suffer with anemia, means that there is a shortage of red blood cells. That's why people who have anemia, they are asked to have more amount of iron in them, more amount of green leafy vegetables, because it increases the content of iron and which has more oxygen carrying capacity. But however, for this sickle cell disease, if anybody has the sickle cell disease, they will have low oxygen content in their body. They will be suffering from anemia due to the lack of the RBC, and it can turn into a very chronic disorder if it is not treated. All right, I hope you understand this short video on the sickle cell disease. Please let me know if you want any more videos. I will try to make them as short as possible and give you all the information in them. All right, goodbye.